Alright, so we've gotten to the point where we need to go ahead and make it possible for our users to be able to search the destination, that is, where they want to go to. So this is the completed project, so we're going to look at how this works. So if I click on the search destination button, it's going to take us to a new page where we can actually key in our search. Alright, but before we get to this point, we need to first of all design this page, right? So that's exactly what we need to do in this particular lesson. So without wasting any further time, let's jump right into it. Alright, now the next thing we need to do will be to go ahead and create a new page. So I'm going to go into the screens folder and I'm going to create a new .dat file. I'm going to call this file search page. So that's where we are going to be performing our search. So as usual, the first thing will be to import our material.dat library. Then we're going to make it a stateful widget. So the name is going to be search page. Alright. So this is going to return a scaffold. So before we go far into this design, let me quickly explain how we are going to go about achieving this. So the entire page is going to be contained in a column, and inside of the column we're going to add a container, and the height is going to be somewhat around 200 or within that range. And after that we're going to add some padding or maybe some safe area, and after that we're going to have another row or maybe a stack that can contain an icon and a text widget. And after that we're going to have a row. This row is simply going to contain an icon and a custom text field, and after that we'll have another row that contains another icon and a custom text field. And that's basically the things that we need to put together to have this amazing search page. So we're going to be a little bit fast with the design, so without wasting any further time, let's jump right into it. Alright, so I'm going to assign a column as the body of my scaffold. Alright, so now that I've created the search page, the next thing we need to do is to make it possible for the app to navigate from the main page to the search page. So I'm going to go into the main page and I'm going to go to where I have the search destination bar, which is this. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and fold this. The next thing I'm going to do will be to add a gesture detector here. I'm going to add it on top of this container, and this container is actually what we see here. So I'm going to go ahead and add a gesture detector here. Then I'm going to add the untap callback. So when we click on this container, we want to navigate to the search page, and we're going to do this by making use of the material page route. So I'm going to say navigator.push. We have a builder. Okay, so this is how we can simply navigate to the search page by using the material page route. So what I'm going to do will be to build our project so that we can be able to click on this bar so that we can get to the search page. Alright, so our project has been built, so I can now go ahead and click on this bar. Bam! So this is our search page, but as you can see, it's pretty much empty. We don't have anything here. So let's go ahead and rush up the design pretty quickly. So like we said, the first thing I'm going to do will be to have a column. Now I'm going to go ahead and add a container. The height of this container is going to be 210. Now the next thing we need to do will be to add some decoration. Of course, we need to decorate it. And the color is going to be white. We've actually been using box shadow so far in our design, so let's go ahead and add some box shadow. Okay, so we've added our box shadow, so I'm going to go ahead and use Ctrl S to hot reload. So as you can see, our design is coming into shape. The next thing I'm going to do will be to fold this up, and we're going to add a child to our container. So the child is going to be a column as well. So the first thing we are going to have in our column will be a stack, and this stack is going to contain an icon and a text widget. Okay, so now we have a stack with an arrow. You can see it somewhere here, but it's actually not showing properly. And we also added a text widget that reads set destination, and we wrapped it inside a center widget. So I'm going to go ahead and add a size box to see if it can actually show up, that tiny arrow that we have up there. So the height is going to be 5. Or better still, we can go ahead and add some padding to this column, right? So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this inside of a padding widget. I'm going to have padding edging set only. So for the left side, the padding value is going to be 24. At the top, is going to be 48, and the right will be 24, and the left and the bottom will be 20. Okay, so I think this will work well for us, and bam. Alright, so now we have that. I'm going to go ahead and fold our stack. I'm going to add a size box with a height of 20, or a height of 18 rather. I think 18 works well for us. Now the next thing we need to do will be to add a row widget. So this row widget is going to contain an image asset and a custom text field. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to have our row. So inside of our row, we're going to have an image. So I'm going to have image.asset. So the image that I want to display here will be the pic icon. So I'm going to load it up. So this is what it looks like. I'm very certain that you've already imported it into your project. So let's go ahead and add that. So the height is going to be 16 and the width. Alright, so now we've successfully added our image. I'm going to have a size box with a width of 18. Alright, now the next thing we need to do will be to go ahead and add a text field. So we need to go ahead and customize our text field so that it can actually look exactly like what we have in mind. So because of that, we need to go ahead and provide some input decoration. Okay, so the first thing we need to do will be to first of all set the hint text. So the hint is going to be pickup location. Alright, so let's go ahead and run this. Okay, so our text field is actually making our design not to rebuild because this text field is actually inside of a row. To solve this problem or to resolve this error, I'm going to go ahead and wrap our text field inside a container, and after that I'll wrap the container inside an expanded widget. Alright, so as you can see, our text field is showing up. Now the next thing we want to do will be to go ahead and add more customizations to it, and one of those customizations is going to be the field color. So the field color is going to be brand colors. And after that, we're going to set field to true. Alright, as you can see, this is coming together. Now, the next thing I'm going to do will be to set the border to none because I don't want any border. Alright, so successfully remove the border. The next thing I'm going to do will be to set isDense to true. Okay, so I think the customization is taking effect, but there is one more thing that we need to do. We need to add some content padding. So with the content padding, we can actually, pad what displays inside of our text field. So this is almost all that we need to do, except that we would like our text field to have some rounded edges. So to do that, I'm going to go ahead and add a box decoration inside of our container. So we're going to set the color and we're going to set the border radius. Okay, so the border radius is not actually having any effect yet. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap our text field inside of a padding widget. So the padding is going to be say 2, and bam. So with this, you can now see the rounded edges. So these are some of the tricks that you put together, to accomplish your design. So now that we have our custom text field, what I'm going to do will be to go ahead and fold all of this up, and I'm going to copy this row. Then I'm going to add a size box with a height of 10. Then I'm going to paste the row again. So all we need to do here will be to change these properties. So I'm going to add the destination icon. Alright, now the next thing I'm going to do will be to change the hint text for the new text field. So here the hint is supposed to be where to. So I think that completes our design. Okay, so one last thing that we need to do will be to go ahead and make it possible for us to return to the main page when we click on this icon here. So I'm going to simply go ahead and wrap our icon with a gesture detector. Alright, now the next thing I'm going to do will be to add the OnTap callback. Alright, so to close this page, I'm going to say navigator.pop contest. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and hot reload, and everything is ready to go. So to test that everything works properly, I'm going to go ahead and click on this button, and bam, we are back to the main page, and here we are here to the search page, and we'll click here, we are back again. So guys, our search destination page is ready. So it is now about time we'll talk about how to search for places, and that's exactly what we are going to be doing in our next class. So this will be all for now. See you in the next class.